Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of RevTalks. I'm Patrick. Today we're joined with Joey over at Wrecking Ball. How's it going today, Joey?
It's going great. Thank you for having me.
Of course, appreciate you taking some time out of your day to join on. Go ahead and give us a little high-level overview about Wrecking Ball, what you guys do, and who you guys are.
You bet. So we are a digital design and innovation company. We've been doing things in the internet since the late 90s. Put our first video on the web in 1996 by accident, which was crazy, right? Said, holy shit, this is going to change everything. And along the last 30 years, have really followed or led a lot of the pathways and the nuances of what's the next thing in innovation, right? So going through the days of Flash, and then when HTML5 came out, social media, Web 2.0, even going through the days of big data and every trend that's been out there, metaverse, which nobody talks about anymore, which was big, a mere 18 months ago. Of course, then today through the AI frontage, and we work with all sorts of companies, but mostly large-scale enterprise companies like Adobe, MasterCard, Estee Lauder companies, and really just solving problems and telling stories for global brands.
Sweet. And speaking of enterprise, like integration and dealing with enterprise, how have you guys actually gotten in front of them? I know you guys have been in the space for a while doing everything digital. How do you get in front of those big enterprises? A lot of audience members that actually watch these podcasts and watch my channel, are always curious about that, expanding up market, signing larger companies and customers. You've done it. How do you do it?
So we don't have salespeople. People don't believe it. Like, what do you mean
Nice.
we don't have salespeople? 98% of what we do is either word of mouth, because from the pedigree that we've had of launching these innovative campaigns or platforms or products, or meeting people at conferences and trade shows where we do presentations. We have a whole series called The Art of the Impossible Made Possible. And it talks about part of the slides are literally, how companies just fucked up and how can they innovate when they don't get along internally, and then pleading with them for the marketing side and the IT side to get along. And, you drop a few F-bombs in a presentation, everybody kind of pays attention all of a sudden with laughter, in jest. And it kind of softens the tone to meet people. But pretty much the last bunch of years have been at these certain select one-on-one meetings we get at these conferences and trade shows to really show the C-suite or senior director level and up what could be accomplished if by just presenting an idea.
Nice, nice. So no sales guys, no sort of, lucrative marketing like that or sales, typical, sales SDRs and BDRs. And you mentioned whenever you're kind of dealing with sort of a presentation or showcasing your products and services, you have a element of surprise when it comes down to like using vernacular, I guess, to sort of like caution the mood. That's something very interesting. I think a lot of people are really hesitant to use that, but it makes you more of a person, right? Like it makes you more of a, oh, there's actually a human showing this thing. Wow, they're using language that I would use kind of at home. It's a comfortability almost.
Correct. There's a lot of emotion, passion, we call it, right, in all that we do, but it exudes through the different works that we wind up creating as well. So um, it's in our brand tone, right? So we have the brand, it's Wrecking Ball, right? But it's not about destruction. It's about taking the best of what's been done prior, the late nights, the boardroom fights, the arguments that people get into. Really, at the end of the day, just want to be profitable or have a great experience for the customer. It could be a customer in retail, could be a customer internally that are using tools, right? That we create. What is the best way to make that experience better for them? And that's even in the work that we show them, or proof of concepts. These are the types of things that when they say, oh, wow, these guys and girls are legit with the pedigree, let's see what we can do to execute, and not have to go, bring them on, add them to our agency roster.
Sweet. And so give us kind of a rundown of just generically maybe some of the products and services you guys are currently providing and fulfilling for, just from a high level overview, just so the audience get a better idea of like what you guys tangibly sell and who you guys actually sell to.
Sure. So wide range, right? So we started off in broadcast television during the Mad Men era. I mean, I'm aging my family and us now. As a global organization, we've grown through the years from when the internet first started, right? Putting our first video on the web in 1996 by accident and saying, holy shit, this is going to change everything, to creating the days of Flash, like the front end websites with Flash. And then over the years, working with the crazy marketing people, which we love, the ideas that they had, there were no third-party APIs or systems to hook into. So we started building a lot of software products so we can just, again, interest of the customer, have them have a great experience. So, been going back to a prior agency, we were working with like Howard Stern, Golf Channel, Oxygen Network, Bacardi, like creating campaign after campaign purely for brand awareness or gaming, when gaming was big on the web also, with the Flash days. Then it transitioned to a lot of platform of creation. So how do companies run? How do we create a content management system for them that before there was WordPress or Contico or Sitecore, or any of these other ones that are out there? Started creating these content management systems and then became back office operations. So fast forward to today with what's out there, we have two different sides of the house. We have the content creation side, still the storytelling, which we still do physical production, but the last 6 months, a big pivot to Gen AI based of type content creation, whether it's Kling or VO3 or C-Dance, and using Higgsfield to tie a lot of things together. It changes week by week. And we're starting to produce full-up commercials that are going to be airing. Some have aired or going to be airing. And then on our LinkedIn pages, you can see a lot of the concept work that we've done, pieces, bringing back spots for Budweiser from the past, or for bicycle playing cards, a piece we just did last week, or even a short film that would have cost millions just to produce this 5-minute short film with the visual effects we want to create. So at scale, we're able to produce content for our clients like never before, or even train companies. So we're starting to train companies as well that have in-house departments. How do they use Gen AI for their own content creation? On the opposite side of the house, looking at the products development, apps, websites, kiosks, items like that, how the shift has been also the last 6 months to a year is in doing a lot of data analyzation that prior would have taken dozens or hundreds or thousands of data analysts to look through information and to pull stuff out, even with machine learning. So a lot of the tools we've been building have been around data sentiment, looking for certain nuggets of information that can then improve thesis of if a company is going to go to market with a product. Does it make sense to spend X amount of dollars on whatever we're going to bring to market? Is one of the examples. Or looking for like the needle in the haystack of data. Or historically, company X succeeded because of these 30 different signals. How many companies are like that out there? And then try to replicate a business model based on other companies' successions.
Nice.
So and items that maybe McKinsey really would wind up doing that now we can also help to bring to companies at scale too. So it's not the sexy part if you're a visual person, but if you're an engineer and data person, people love it.
Sweet. And I know you mentioned too, you guys have a very special way, obviously using word of mouth and referrals in your network to get in front of customers. Do you guys have an existing large contact / email list? Do you guys, because obviously we're like email geeks over here, right? Over at Inbox Rev, this is what we mainly deal with all day and all night. Do you guys have are you guys managing lists? Do you guys have like recurring customers that you guys have on those lists? Maybe not necessarily like some basic newsletter-esque, but something that keeps the audience maybe up to date, something creative in that way. Do you guys have that?
Yeah, we will send out a newsletter, not often, or a lot of it will be just one-on-one with clients, even if people we haven't worked with, really keeping the relationships personal. So because we work with both sides, creative and product development engineering, the conversations are different and they're tailored as such. We are more low volume of the amount of work we do, while we do, I don't know how many thousands of contacts are on my LinkedIn. So we'll reach out, segment based on the type of industry that they're in and what they're looking for, based on the success that we've had with other or failures even, right, with other projects, just to share that. But there's no official CRM. And the mailing lists are split up again strictly in design type companies or content, and then on the other side for product and engineering.
Okay, sweet. And I know I forgot to ask, I meant to ask this earlier. Are you the sole founder or part of a partner of the company, or?
Yep, I have my partner, James Bagheera. He and I have been working together. Well, Wrecking Ball was founded in 2007.
Nice.
Prior to that, we each had our own other digital agencies, and then we started working together. And then in 2007,
Nice.
joined forces to create Wrecking Ball.
And so transitioning from a digital agency approach online to Wrecking Ball, what has that transition taught you the most? Obviously, being in digital marketing prior to 2007 is probably a whole different landscape, of course, than it was right now.
Yeah.
What changes have you had to really adapt to, and what was some unexpected, situations you didn't actually, sort of think were even possible moving from digital to Wrecking Ball?
Yeah, it's I guess the one word that comes to mind is resiliency. As the marketplace has changed and as more companies have put in in-house agencies, or as some of these items have become commodities, like SEO was a specialty at one point, now it's a commodity. With the advancement of Canva, you can have a design shop for your nephew, niece, cousin. Everybody's a designer, especially with AI hooked into Canva now, and Figma. So what we've done is always, when we get to a certain point where the market starts to get saturated, look for the next thing. And along the way, again, when we started, it was Flash, right? We were one of the top Flash shops globally. When HTML5 and Web 2 came out, and social media started to pivot more towards how do we integrate with these different type of products for our clients to get them having a presence on it. And then as more companies needed internal platforms to help manage and run the businesses, like companies that nobody's ever heard of that make the world go round, how do we pivot to start to create enterprise level grade software, custom software, so that they can run their operations but still have the polished look and feel of all the experiences that we brought for the consumer facing stuff over the years as well. Now we've come back full circle, right? Especially with the Gen AI content creation, back to the roots of, we have these ideas in our heads, and a week or 2 or 3 later, we have everything created where it would have taken 2, 3, 4 months prior, and many times, $500,000 to 7 figures plus to create some of these types of things that we can do now in a matter of weeks. It's crazy. I'm mind boggled at the things we do right now and the speed.
Especially going from manual to automated, then automated more to AI, then linguistics and things like that. That being said, are you pretty familiar with digital cameras? Are you like a camera nerd or not really? Because I was going to give you some breakdowns about which cameras you would prefer or recommend, especially for video content.
So I am not as much as I used to be. Our production team is, and it could be still looking at Red cameras or the RE cameras.
Nice.
Some stuff will shoot on an iPhone
Right.
as well.
Right.
We'll still have Panasonic and Sony cameras with the Zeiss lenses. It really depends with the right cameras for the right projects and jobs. But lately, a lot of it's been either the Red cameras or the REs.
I see. So you guys don't deal too much with like Sony or like Canon, obviously the basic models, things like that.
Yes, yeah, but a lot of that we'll have it in tandem. I think they're either Sony or Canons. You're right, but I haven't been on the shoots in quite some time, so I don't even know anymore.
No worries. Yeah. I always like to ask. I own a ZVE1 Sony, and I know FX3 is the Netflix grade sort of camera for their like most Netflix shows would use that with a really good lens, obviously. But FX3 is like the bolt production Netflix staple, I've heard. So I was just curious if you had any thoughts on that.
You nailed it, Patrick. It's the lens. The lens matters more than anything. The camera housing might cost 500, 1,000, 2,000, but the lens could be 5, 8, 10,000.
Right.
Which and that's what makes the magic.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And it's so interesting because like when you see some of those Netflix grade shows and even just things on Netflix and you're like, wow, that is shot really well. It's like shot on FX3 and then it has like a $15,000 lens attached and you're like, okay, well that makes more sense.
It's correct. Like Completely different from the stadium cameras.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
No, with that we don't do. But the other one, the smaller ones, yes.
Nice.
And it's even that technology, to be able to shoot 4K, 8K, even though we release everything 1080 still, to have the ability to shoot that high and then be able to punch in tighter on certain scenes, as you need to. So you have the extra room in there rather than having to do 2 or 3, 4 shots of a close up, mid, wide shot. It's again, great advancement of the technology to cut down on the cost of the shoot time.
Definitely. Yeah. 100%. And I think that's extremely important too. People realizing like it's really about specializing in specific things within your industry as well. What would you say Wrecking Ball is really good in terms of unfair advantage? What do you guys do phenomenally well than other competitors in your industry in terms of service, products, fulfillment? What do you guys do really well that really makes you guys stand out?
So what we've been told from our clients, we're a very humble group of people, is that we're one of the few companies that understands design and technology. So when someone has a digital product that they want to create or a campaign or a platform or a kiosk, right? Rather than just going through, and I'll just go back to McKinsey, for example. McKinsey will do a whole research study. Here's your blueprint of what you want to create. Go do it. We don't do that. We actually go study that. We study the companies that we work with, learn about how they operate, um, whole customer centric model. What are they trying to accomplish? Not just here's what we want to create, and go design something for us and then hand it off, and then somebody else will engineer it. We'll actually go through the strategy and ideation, the creative side, the UX, the UI, the customer experience, the CX, the engineering behind it, right? How are we going to build it? What's the current tech stack that a company may be on? How do we integrate? How do we modernize what they're doing as well? People still call it digital transformation. We call it digital renovation, because it might be working, but there could be additional cost savings behind the scenes with what you're trying to accomplish, right? So we have that aspect, but then also adding in after engineering, like data analytics. So actually, while there are data layers that can be, semi-automated now through some of these platforms, which are great, when you get to enterprise class, many things have to be customized to scale to serve millions of people. So we have that expertise as well. And then the content creation side. So literally, we can go full scale from here's an idea that we have, help us vet it, understand our company. Will this make us money? Will we lose money? Is it a pilot program for us? Do we just go right to market and build it out? And then a rinse and repeat. So not just finish there, but we have a saying, never done, NVRDUN, like the Run DMC logo, never done, where it's a rinse and repeat. Once something launches, many times that these platforms never get turned off, and there's additional items that come into play where people didn't even realize the potential of whatever we're creating for them is, that we can add to it, as a next version 2, 3, 4. So we truly become partners to our clients rather than an agency. And we never want to hear people say, I hate my agency. That's not us.
Yeah.
To the point where we're guilty of scope creeping our own stuff at times because it's an interest of the project.
Yeah. Yep. And then you almost kind of like indirectly set expectations a little bit too high sometimes, so that without even delivering much, because you guys haven't really started, you're just like excited about it. And then you obviously set the bar super high.
Well, yeah, I mean, that we do also, but I'm saying once we start the project and, we're halfway through and we see there are areas that can be improved, and it's not in the SOW, statement of work. There's many times we'll go and do it, on behalf of the client, really in the interest of a long-term relationship. Some of our clients have been with us 17 years, 16 years, 10 years, 8 years. So we're more of like a true partner rather than one and done. And here's your project and, bye. We really prefer to get into the companies and help them, let them run their business as they need to, and we'll assist becoming like their digital special ops team to work with them to create whatever they want to create on the digital side.
Absolutely. And touch on kind of customer experience as we kind of wrap up here. What is your key or your philosophy, or what has been very well in terms of retaining customers for a longer period of time? I know you mentioned you have those customers for 5, 10 years like that. What's kind of the key to that? Obviously, delivering good results is only a part of it. What's kind of some secret sauce you might have for some of the audience when it comes down to customer retention and really building those relationships?
Transparency, 100%. When the shit hits the fan, owning it, right? Not just kind of bury it, cover it up, point fingers, is key. Respect the budgets. So if there are budgets that are set, see how much you can maximize it. Sometimes it might be less profitable, but over time, you wind up making it up over the years, months or years. Those are probably the biggest three. And truly learning about who the clients are. You're not going to be best friends, but get into the personal side and understanding who they are, their family, likes, dislikes. If you're going to be spending all this time with them, rather than just being another number, in the system, having the personal relationship over the months or years goes a long way as well for that continued relationship.
Definitely, definitely. Well, I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to jump on RevTalks. Had a great time talking to you, Joey, and I appreciate you jumping on.
Thank you, Patrick. This is awesome. Thank you.